Tom? I'll talk to you in a bit.
One. One, two. 1, 2. Rightio, you're just practicing at the minute. All right, yeah, okay, mate. No worries. Put the screen big for you, mate. Click on view and that's it. Brilliant. Okay. Yeah, that's a good view. The two guys out for currently at the moment. We will be with you very shortly for the live stream for this evening's meeting featuring 3 heats, a final and a Grand National on the Shale at the Norfolk Arena. So the track looking nice and smooth, as you'd expect in the R-Factor game. Of course, it does behave differently to other surfaces, being shale, so you wouldn't get the effect that you do with tarmac. And the guys aim to throw the car a little bit more sideways to get around the corner and control a little bit more before the back end slips out. In these Rebel races around this fantastic shale venue at Kings Lynn. Well, we're on the cameras with Tom. So Tom, our cameraman for this evening. We're about ready then to go for Heat 1. We'll just get the marshal to bring the cars out onto the raceway. We'll run through one or two of the drivers and we'll be underway for 14 laps of Rebel Racing. It's certainly a bit warm inside and out today. Somewhat so a bit sweaty in the box, but there you go. This is Rebel Racing. We're about to go live for Heat 1. The cars on track just about to retire. And then we'll bring the drivers out for Heat 1. These, of course, the real live drivers from the Rebel fraternity out on the R-Factor game to keep the series going. $16 drivers booked in for this evening's meeting, and certainly one or two that can perform and pedal the car around the R-Factor raceway. Shane Murphy joins us in car 18. Aaron Amstead in car number 9. Dave Carter will be with us in 548. Steve Boyd in 369. 471, Alistair Houghton joins us as well. Gary Tagg in 238. Steve Aldgate in 51. Josh Spires in 451. Ash Geary in 82. And a brace of Geary 78. Shane Geary. So we're watching the battle between those two. Certainly no love lost between brothers there when they're on the track. Rob Jones in car 30. Danny McCarthy in 393. James Go-Kart Brown in 900. Lawrence Collins in 501. Nicole Emmett, a late entry with us as well in 131. And I think Ash Palethorpe's made it to the start and finish line as well in 125. I did see him running around on the pre-race setups. Let's see if he gets out onto the raceway for Heat 1. Racing over 14 racing laps here at Kings Lynn. Just a quick check to see who's left in the pit area then. The camera will take us back to the raceway very shortly. Oh, we've chucked them all back in the pits. So we have some great... Right, okay, just a bit of a crash already, and that crash was in the game rather than in the pits and on the track. And that happens with iGames. It's nothing unusual, and most of you know play any form of R-Factor or iRacing that occasionally the server or the game just kicks itself a little tiny bit. So we'll get them back out onto the track very shortly. And certainly still busying around the pits. And it's a long way from the original format of Rebels, of course, when Hans Kidemar started to build these in the back of a bus garage not far up from Two Gates at Tamworth, where the Reliance were actually built. I remember the days of going up through Tamworth and the traffic would stop while they carried a body shell across from one side of the factory to the other. But Anne's coming through with this fantastic formula of Rebels. And it's, of course, the R-Factor, the I series of the similar kind. Yeah, it ain't too bad. So Gary Tagg, Steve Aldgate, and Rob Jones James Go-Kart Brown and Aaron Amstead amongst the older fraternity of the drivers. Of course, a lot of young drivers coming into this formula, with Shay Murphy heading those up as well, and Ash Geary joining across from the mod stocks. A local driver into myself in Northampton. Let's see how he fares up there. Steve Holgate there on the outside in 51. So we're about ready to go on the starters orders. Certainly see a pair of Gearys out there in the Union Jack livery cars. So we're on board at the moment there with Shay Murphy. So there is Shane Geary there in 78, the first of the two Union Jack cars. Looks like one car holding back there as we go around. Josh Spurs there in 451. There's Stephen Boyd just going to line up with Ash Palethorpe. No sausages there with Ash. A bit of an old joke, that one, with Palethorpe sausages, of course. Let's hope he can pedal the real car as quick as he's been pedaling it in this series when we get back to the racing. 501 tucked in behind of Lawrence Collins, and these bumpers nose to tail with Ash Palethorpe, so expect a bit of action now as they're about to go underway. Then a nice steady pace from Boyd and Palethorpe. Palethorpe on the inside line. It's a lovely surface for them to race on this Kingsley half at track here as we're about to go green any minute as they go down the back straight. Boyd looking for the quick getaway. Palethorpe on the inside in 125, and Palethorpe's away. Palethorpe's gone in 125. First across the line from the 501 of Lawrence Collins, who gives good chase there. Shane Geary's certainly getting a move on as well. Very much a retro rebel racer, shall we say. Moved over to Formula One stock cars, and car ready up for the return of F1 stock cars to the raceways. There's James Go-Kart Brown under pressure there as he come around into turn one for the second time. A spinner there as 393 goes round. That's Danny McCarthy. There's Taggy in 238. Steve Boyd in 551 there. Ash Geary this time, just ahead of the 51 of Stephen Boyd. And the drivers really settling in on this Kings Lynn surface. Towards there's Shane Murphy there, just picking up behind James Go-Kart Brown. Boyd keen to get the bumper in, and Nicole Ebbett's a spinner down there on turns 1 and 2 in 131. Let's see if we can pick up with our lead car. There he is in 125. Rob Jones just ahead of him in car 30. But Rob Jones about to be lapped by the looks of things by Palethorpe. Palethorpe really powering it down. He's Rebels 2 elastic bands compared to his mod stock, which had one, of course, which we tease him about quite often. But Palethorpe certainly moving quick. Shane Geary in second in car 78. Nicole Emmett recovers there. Could be a problem for the Gearys as they come around the track. There's Lawrence Collins in 501. Palethorpe still with the lead. Rob Jones now goes to the outside to let Palethorpe through on the inside of the lead. Geary in second is 78. A look further back down, Taggy come up the field in 238. Shane Murphy getting the bumper in on Taggy there, just fires him out wide, goes up the inside. Down on the pit turn. Back to the roadside as they come along then, and down into the roadside bend they go. It is still Palethorpe with a lead in 125. He's being caught by Geary. Jones just ahead of him there in car 30. There's Shane Geary chasing hard in car 78. Murphy up into fourth behind Taggy in 238. And they were in a right exchange of blows on this game down into the turn. In comes the bumper from Murphy, just about mid-turn there, trying to shift Taggy out wide. Up the inside he goes. He's got him on the roadside turn this time. Up the inside goes Murphy and up into third. Palethorpe with the lead then in 1-2-5 from Geary in 78. And a battle back from Taggy. Taggy's back ahead of Murphy. Exchange of bumpers there. These two certainly putting a great show on for the crowd. Murphy again with a bumper. He's looking for the right time. Taggy just rides it out around the turn. And there's Geary just bouncing off the arm code down the far side and along the grandstand. Palethorpe, though, still in the lead in 1-2-5, looking for a win in Eat 1. It's Ash Geary there, not too far behind. He's battling away with Josh Spurs in 4-5-2. Some great racing here from the drivers. A quick shot of the pits there. Not quite sure where the cameraman's gone. We call him Tom Tom, but sometimes he's a bit of a stat nav. But 1-2-5 then with the lead still. As we close this race down. And it looks like it's going to be a win for Palethorpe in 1-2-5. We'll get that result confirmed for you. Geary in 78 still there in second. And indeed, Ash Palethorpe takes the win in 1-2-5 from Shane Geary in 4-7-8. Shane Murphy in car 80, Taggy in 2-3-8. Josh Spires in 4-5-2. Ash Geary in 6th place in 82. 5-4-8 coming home in 7th place of Dave Carter. Lawrence Collins in car 501 in 8th. In 9th was 393 of Danny McCarthy. And 10th place went to James Go-Kart Brown in car 900. That concludes Heat 1. A great win there for the 1-2-5 of Ash Palethorpe. Next up, Heat 2, of course. Again, over 14 racing laps this time. A great start to the meeting here at Kings Lynn for the Rebels. Just let the steward get the cars that are lined up onto the track. Let's see if Ash Palethorpe can take 2 out of 2. Of course, when we move over to the final, that'll be in the point scoring orders, and it'll be the usual format of 2-3-2-3 down the line of cars. So 3 on one line, 2 on the other, as would be in real life. And they'll be going over 18 laps to the final. Still 2 heats to go, though. Heat 2 about to line up. Our cameraman just chatting to me there, and you'll hear not quite hear. You'll hear me talk to the cameraman quite often on and off. But Tom on the camera. Let's see where we can get him to land us for Heat 2. But some great action shots there down the back straight, into the roadside turn, and of course down into the pit area. So 1 or 2 rejoining the game. Of course, they have to rejoin to get back into the format. Remember, this is only R Factor's a cracking game. It's a great format. Lots of oval racing across the country coming on to R Factor, of course, to replace the real thing while we're under the COVID rules. And a great news comes this week as we turn to the raceways for practice sessions. So a lot of the raceways are able to open up for practice sessions. I believe Stanlake was open today for drift cars. I've seen some live pictures on that of the cars drifting on the wet track this afternoon. And it's great to see the cars and the drivers back out there having fun. Hopefully we'll get somewhere near to returning to full-time racing very shortly. I, for one, is certainly missing my position in the real commentary box. I think 1 or 2 of the cars are whizzing around for a bit of practice pre-2. I'm still about to get them lined up for 1 or 2, making sure their cars are set right. Of course, you can, with this being an R Factor game, you can alter the suspension, you can alter the tyre pressures, you can alter the camber. You can alter the towing of the wheels to get the car to go around the corner. Of course, the original game developed for circuit racing, but you are able to adapt the cars into oval racing, which is absolutely fantastic. If you've not tried the game, it's worth trying if you got the knowledge and the setup. Of course, you can use it with an Xbox controller, or you can use it with a steering wheel and pedals, whichever suits your choice. Well, I'm not sure what's going on at the minute. We're having a few issues. I'm told James Go-Kart Brown keeps going and coming back. I'm not sure whether that's a Souls tune to go along with the theme of James Brown. So Alistair Oughton has finally joined us in 471. It's been a long trip down and around to the A14, of course, and down into Kings Lynn. But Alistair making the trip down. We will be on track for E2. Of course, Oughton JCB, sponsors of the late Bobby Burns of Brisker Formula 1 fraternity. A big link there across the years with Alistair's family and Bobby Burns. So Big Bad Bobby, as he was known from Brisker Formula 1 stock cars.
Attention grid, all non-essential personnel leave the grid now.
But there has been many a Formula 1 stock car driver across into Rebels. From Rebels across to Formula 1, say Shane Geary, our latest one, going across. But, certainly a lot of movement between the formulas as well. The early days, and Ian Higgins was one of the founder drivers of Rebels. Also, Ian Higgins, Brisker Formula 1 stock car now, the granddaddy of stocks carts. And the two linking together quite nicely. And I believe I think a football match goes down at something over a speed weekend at Skegness between the two fraternities. Not quite sure who's in front on that one, but oh dear, James Go-Kart Brown has left the game again. So we'll try and get him back in. So Go-Kart in and out, but looks like he's back in. The car's out onto the race. So we'll just get them lined up then, ready for E2. Game racing over 14 racing laps. Well, Tommy's put us the grid positions up from the camera angle as well now, so that's absolutely fantastic. So we'll be able to see as we go through the race who's in the lead. Of course, we're just setting the cars up in their grade positions at the moment, ready for the drop of the flag on the rolling lap. The final course being clutch start on the 3-2-3 format. Let's see if Ash Geary can take the win from the back of the grade this time in 1-2-5. Well, it's Collins on the front of the grade, Nicole Emmett in 1-3-1. And I think I'm being joined by the Cat in the commentary box as well again. Cat was with me yesterday while I was doing stock rods, and I think he's going to try and join us again this afternoon. But away we go. It's not the same Cat that Sarge has with the F1s, by the way. Palefoot poised, ready to drop down the inside as the flag drops. Stephen Boyd about to go in a 369. Palefoot switches to the outside, bounces off the arm core, cuts across the front of the two then. Palefoot off into the lead. Boyd trying to reconnect with the back bumper. There's Collins on the inside in 5:01. Which really is warming up this first lap of this E2. Palefoot from Collins from Boyd. Shane Geary's moved up in car 78, but he's about to get fired out wide by the 393 of McCarthy. McCarthy on the inside there, and one car coming to a bit of a slow pace there down on the roadside turn. I think that may have been Spires in 452. McCarthy on the pace up the inside of Geary this time, but Geary keen to get the bumper in. There goes the bumper from Geary. Down on the roadside turn and up the inside goes Geary, looking for that third place back as we come down into the turn. Turn 4, they're coming out. Geary on the inside of McCarthy in this race warming up that third place. Ash Palethorpe. Well, who'd have thought Ash Palethorpe off after chasing to the second win of the evening 125. Collins still there in 5:01. As out in the late, coming to the party in 6th place in 4:71, and Rob Jones in 7th. So still chasing hard there near into lap 7. So half the distance gone. Palethorpe with the lead in 125. So halfway, Ash Palethorpe leads, looking for the second win of the evening in this E-Series for the Rebels here at Kings Lynn. Collins has dropped way back. He's in the fire from Josh Byers, Shane Geary. Alistair Oughton getting the bumper in on Nicole Emmett there, I think, in 131. Looks like Geary in trouble in 78. And that shows the absolute warmth of the day, isn't it? Because I've just had to throw the microphone across the room in order to cough a little bit. No, I've not got the dreaded lurgy, but we're still in the lead with the 125 of Ash Palethorpe. Oh, problems there. Who's gone into the tyres? Rob Jones is there trying to mount one of the tractor tyres there out of turn 4. And they do hurt. And around goes Stephen Boyd in 369. So Boyd out markers there as well. It is still Palethorpe from Collins in 5:01. Alistair Oughton up into 3rd. Shane Murphy on the moving car 80 up into 2nd. Oh, 3 laps from home this time. Palethorpe with the lead. Murphy in 2nd, but straight between the two. There's Palethorpe, Alistair Oughton in 4:71 up on his inside. Now I think Oughton's a back marker at the moment, but there's Palethorpe with the lead. I'm going into the last lap next time around, Mr. Starter. Last lap for 125. Ash Palethorpe from the 80 of Shane Murphy. Palethorpe holding it tight on the turn. Down the back straight. Flag about to drop. It's going to be 2 out of 2 for Ash Palethorpe in 125. Great drive there from the back of his grade that time. I think maybe we're moving back a grade for 3 at that pace. Oh, your top 10 there, as you can see, Ash Palethorpe in 125 takes a win. Shane Murphy in 2nd. Spires in 3rd in 452. Shane Geary 4th in car 78. Taggy was 5th in 238. Lawrence Collins 6th in 501. Dave Carter 7th in 548. Ash Geary in 82 was in 8th. Stephen Boyd on 51 in 9th. And Alistair Oughton recovering it into 5th place in 471. So Stephen Allgate in 51. My apologies there. Too many Stephens and not enough Rebels. But certainly a good turnout this evening for the cars. And certainly Mr. Palethorpe on the march. He seems to be good at these R-Factor games and slot stocks. If only he could use a hand controller in his car instead of a steering wheel, then perhaps we may see him develop a bit more in the real world. So my friend Tommy has just fell off the camera at the moment in laughter. Tommy is. I'll go pick Tommy back up and put him back on the camera so we can get ready for 3. Shane Geary, you need to get a bit of a pace up, my friend, in 78 and get that bumper distributed. Shane Murphy certainly living up to the Murphy name, getting the bumper in and up into 2nd in car 80. And somebody's messaging me on the other computer over there on Facebook. I think it was Shay coming out with a comment there. I think he's fell off his chair as well. Now, I've seen for sure Shane Geary has actually built his own cockpit. Put his TV and his steering wheel in there, and he's got a race harness, and I'm sure he's got a crash out on as well as we speak. So Shane Geary really into this one. Well, I'll say Shane's Geary built it. I was pretty sure his main mechanic, Tommy Kay, might have been of assistance. No, Tommy K has just confirmed. No, he didn't build build that for him. He says he stuck to helping him with the real thing, the F1. I'm just going to catch a drink while Tommy gets them out onto the raceway, and we'll be ready for heat one. 14 laps of distance, and the last chance to qualify for those positions for this evening's final. So Ash Palethorpe asking if he needs to go back to the back of the grade for this one. I would say go back another grade. The pace is getting so far, but our steward Shane Murphy saying that back of his grade will be fine. So a very big welcome if you just joined us on the Rebels E-Series. This is our Factor the Game 4 Rebels. We've got the real life drivers out in these cars. A fair assortment of drivers out there. We've got Ash Geary. We've got Danny McCarthy, who is a recent newcomer to the sport. Josh Spires in 452. Stephen Oldgate in 51. Ash Palethorpe in 125. Ash Palethorpe, if you just joined us, has taken 2 heat wins so far. Shane Geary in 478. Shane Murphy in 80. Taggy in 238. Rob Jones in car 30. Nicole Emmett in 131. A latecomer, of course, Alistair Oughton just joining us in 471. So the cars line up for heat 3. Last chance to qualify further up the grid for the final this evening here at Kings Lynn. So you're keeping well out there with virus around out your kill, keeping safe, following all the directions as required. And the car's looking 2 metres apart. And my cameraman, I think, hit a tyre on the way in there. So we're getting back onto the track very shortly as the cars go round on the rolling lap. I think he's jumped out the car in the pits and gone to spectate from the turn. So Shane Geary, a couple of good drives so far, and yet to strike and take victory. 2 heats to Ash Palethorpe, who's just pulling in the back of the grid there. And Stephen Boyd and Lawrence Collins will lead them away. Nicole Emmett on the inside of our double heat winner Palethorpe there. Far side along the grandstand. Palethorpe holding back, looking for a good start as the flag drops. Nicole Emmett finds out wide. There's Lawrence Collins in the middle of the mix there. Emmett with the lead as they go into the roadside turn, but Boyd comes up on the inside. 1 or 2 spinners towards the rear of the pack there. And that's like Gary Tagg in the mix there in 238. They recover, so Gary Tagg finding clean space. Stephen Oldgate in 51 and McCarthy in 393. They were the spinners down there on the roadside turn. We've got a car just spinning around and hitting the tyres on the infield. We'll try and catch who that is very shortly. And I'm going to sack Tom this time because he's not given us the lead positions down the side, but we'll pick it up from the track. There's Shane Geary in 78. up in the top 5. Palethorpe then 125. He's found his way to the front yet again. So Ash Palethorpe looking for 3 out of 3. He will start on pole without a doubt come the final. Good battle between Josh Spires in 452 and Shane Geary there for second place. Geary dropping back in the Union Jack liveried Rebel as Josh Spires goes up the field there in 452. Shane Murphy's come through very quickly in car 80. He's ahead of Ashley Geary and Dave Carter there in 548. Rob Jones towards the back of him in car 30, but geared the lead with Palethorpe yet again in 125. And a very smooth drive from Palethorpe. Nice entry into the turn. He's coming up behind Mac marker of Nicole Emmett about to lap. The young lady started alongside. Now, inside he goes, but Nicole Emmett trying to come back with a bumper. Palethorpe powers away. Spires in second, still in 452 in the all white liveried Rebel there, just coming round out of the pits turn. Geary in third in car 78 with Murphy on his tail, puts him wide. Up the inside goes Murphy. Geary comes back, the bumper's sure to go in this time. Well, Geary just playing safe there, looking for a good finishing position, I think, to get up the grid for the final. Rob Jones on the tail of Geary this time around. That's the Ash Geary that Rob Jones is playing with down the far side in 82. In back hard at Murphy in car 80. Palethorpe was still with the lead from Josh Spires then in 452. As we come into the closing stages of this third and final heat. Stephen Oldgate, the back marker there. Palethorpe's found his way around, but Oldgate looking to get the bumper in on the leader. Palethorpe going right out wide, trying to survive. Oldgate on his inside. Can Oldgate spin the lead car? Well, Oldgate going through on the inside of Palethorpe then. We'll check on those race positions very shortly, but Josh Spires in second in 452. Palethorpe opens the gap up, trying to get away. Josh Spires coming up behind the pair. And it looks like Palethorpe may get launched in the closing stage. Oh, around goes Oldgate there in 51. Josh Spires still trying to chase hard on the tail of Palethorpe, and Josh Spires has disappeared. He's gone in a puff of smoke. Whether he's joined the doctor on Doctor Who or not, I don't know, but that's how our factor works. But we can give you the final result of Heat 3, that flag dropping on Ash Palethorpe for the third time. Josh Spires in 452 was second. Shane Murphy was third in car 80. In fourth, Shane Geary in car 78. Ash Geary was fifth in 82. In sixth, Rob Jones in 30. Seventh was Taggy in 238. In eighth was Dave Carter in 548. In ninth was Alistair Oughton in 471. And coming home in 10th was Danny McCarthy in 393. Well, we'll get the cars and the points sorted. We'll bring them out for the final in points order. Remember, it's a 3-2-3 format and a clutch start this time. Well, Tommy's just sorting the cameras out for us. He should have the lap scoring up for us as well this time. Of course, we're all new to these formats. It does take a bit of time to get them nice and smooth. So, Tommy Kay in charge on the steward inside as well. He's about to sort the cars out for points places. Ash Palethorpe, of course, on pole position, having taken 3 wins in car 125. We'll run for the rest as a lineup before the drop of the flag. So the car's just heading out from the Kings Lynn pits. I think one or two just doing a quick practice round there. No practice needed, of course, for Palethorpe in 125. And, well, we've just had a message from Shane Geary's sister-in-law saying, let's hope he drives the F1 like he's driving the Rebel. And we'll see him perform around the raceway. Of course, termed as Sky Electric Boy by Mark Sargent. So, Mark Sargent, I should watch your rear mirror if you've passed the 478 during the course of his career. So Tommy Kay just sorting the camera out, changing the batteries, putting the new film in, and we'll be underway with the final very shortly. So word has come from the steward. They're just drawing up the final grid, of course, the points being accumulated across the 3 heats. And the positions going back down the field, of course, will be adjudicated from those points scored. So here we go, the steward sending the cars out to the track then to line them up. Is Ash Palethorpe in 125 a triple heat winner? Well, who would have thought it? Man from Brayfield on the green, not looking so green on an R factor. Just Spies pulling up alongside in 452. Dave Carter going round to line up in 548. Shane Murphy's up there on the front row as well in car 80. And just a quick look up at the commentary box. I've actually been up there in the commentary box at Kings Lynn for a grass track event, believe it or not. It's quite a good day. Here comes tagging into position in 238. There's Shane Geary. Now, see that one in front of you, Shane? That one in 125? That's the one to aim for, because if you don't move him, you're not going to win. The rest of the cars to come out onto the track. Two at the front then, Palethorpe and Murphy. Round comes Ash Geary and Dave Carter. Rob Jones about to join as well in car 30. And this in real life is the bit where when I was a photographer, I used to stand on the infield and watch Hans Kidimar turn the other way because he really didn't want to see all them cars smashed up into turn 1. But some great starts, of course, from this format for the Rebels. And some great dramatic crashes have come out of it as well. Let's see what we can do with the R-Factor side of things. Rob Jones, of course, the son of Mark Jones, very much back in the day of 302 Brisker Formula 1 stock cars. There's Lawrence Collins in 501. He's having a quick look at Ash Geary there. Stephen Oldgate in 51, Stephen Boyd in 369. There's Nicole Emmett coming up towards the rear, and the revs picking up on these cars, and they do sound like the real thing. James Cocart Brown has joined us. He's at the back in car 900. Oh, we are seconds away from the drop of the flag for 18 laps. This is the final for this evening's Rebels here at Kings Lynn. Driver's been told to get ready by the start steward. Here we go. Well, a quick jump there from Josh Spires down the inside. Palethorpe drops back to third gear. We just ahead in car 78. Round goes. I think that was Stephen Oldgate's gone down there on the turn 3. There's Lawrence Collins about to rejoin ahead of Nicole Emmett in 131. Lead with Spires from Geary, from Carter Murphy. Palethorpe back in 6. Great start for Josh Spires and in 4.52. Really got off the mark there and he was gone. But Shane Geary up into second. Well, he must have heard me. He's certainly getting the power down. He's chasing hard. There's a spinner just dead just as they come around the turn. That was James Go-Kart Brown. Well, he's still with us. He's rejoined the pack. Geary moves up into 4th, chasing away. Palethorpe moves up into 4th, chasing away Ash Geary. Dave Carter up into 5th. Shane Murphy's on the move in car 80. Alistair Elton chasing hard, and Dave Carter, as we say, has just gone round in 5-4. Right, there's Rob Jones playing with a tyre down on turn 2 again as they go into the roadside. Lead with Josh Spires in 4.52 from Shane Geary in car 78. Geary taking it right out to the Armco to bring it back in. Ash Palethorpe on his tail though in 1.25. There's Ash Geary there as well. The pair of Union Jacks then. Palethorpe dropping back. 5 laps gone of this 18-lap feature final. Josh Spires, the leader from Shane Geary, is your top 2. Ash Geary in 3rd in 82. And Palethorpe through and up into 3rd. Surely the bumper's going to come back from Ash Geary. Fires onto the back of Palethorpe there. Puts him out wide. Up the inside he goes. Out of turn 2. Palethorpe fighting back. Bulldog spirit there from Palethorpe against the Union Jack. Palethorpe on the inside. Geary on the outside, riding nice and tight. Oh, somebody's hit the tyres, and it looks like James Go-Kart Brown again. It's not really his night, is it? I mean, I think that's about the 3rd time he's had those tyres down on that bend. Palethorpe still chasing up, but Murphy on the tail of Palethorpe. It's going to be a 3-way train into turn 2. There we go. Up the inside comes Murphy. Palethorpe out wide. Coming back from return on the inside of Murphy. Geary just ahead of the 3. And this battle for 3rd place is really kicking off. Nicole Emmett's going to be fence fodder in a minute. There she is. Oh my word. She gets caught up with Ash Geary there, but she manages to survive as the trio power through. Josh Spires still leads them from Ash Palethorpe this time. As Ash Geary, Shane Geary has dropped down to 8th. I'm not sure what happened to Shane. Was too busy with those 3 there, but Stephen Oldgate getting the bumper in as well there, and Alistair Oughton this time around. We're well over halfway. Josh Spires leads from the 1.25 of Palethorpe. Palethorpe in 2nd, chasing hard. Ash Geary still on his tail, and Shane Murphy as well in car 80. Alistair Oughton up into 5th and tagging in 6th. Shane Geary had a really good start, was running in 2nd for a good half of the race, dropped down to 8th place ahead of Stephen Boyd in car 9. Is Palethorpe on his way down the back straight there, being chased by Ash Geary, but where is Josh Spires? Josh Spires has well gone in the white livery car. There he is, in amongst the back markers there, into turn 3 and 4, down the home straight, and a good enough half a lap up on Palethorpe. Can Palethorpe close the distance with 4 laps to go? Or into the 3-lap marker for Josh Spires, and he looks like he's going to take victory in this evening's final. Palethorpe chasing hard, and unless anything goes wrong in these closing laps, it will be Josh Spires that takes victory. Ash Geary about to distribute some bumper on the back of Palethorpe in these closing laps, as well as Shea Murphy closes in on the pair. It really is all to play for second place. Josh Spires, last lap next time, Mr. Starter, for 4.52. Palethorpe in second in 1.25 as we go into the last lap this time around for Josh Spires in 4.52. Spires down the back straight into turn 3, and he's taken the win. Josh Spires has taken a win in 4.52. What a cracking drive. Ash Palethorpe second in 1.25 and Ash Geary third in 82. Shea Murphy came home fourth in car 80. In fifth was 4.71 of Alistair Houghton. Gary Tagg in sixth in 2.38. Shane Geary recovering from that about halfway into seventh position. Dave Carter in eighth in 5.48. Rob Jones was ninth in car 30, and Stephen Boyd 10th in a 3.69. Oh, a very big well done to Josh Spires. They're taking their final this evening here at Kings Lynn. Just one more race to come, and that's the Grand National for the Rebel racers. Again, we'll be back over 14 racing laps for your Grand National this evening here at the Norfolk Arena. It'll take us a couple of minutes just to get the Grand National lined up for this evening. It has been a great night's racing so far. Can Ash Palethorpe take a fourth win? Josh Spires stop him having taken the final. Shane Geary still keen for the win in car 78. And so is Shea Murphy in car 80. Well, all to play for. 14 laps, your race distance to come. Up next, the Grand National for the Rebel Racers. I'm sure Ash Palethorpe has just said that if he doesn't take a fourth win this evening, he's going to streak through Brayfield. I'm losing from Tommy Kay. Tommy Kay says if Ash does streak through Brayfield, he's not going to film it. Getting on the cars up for the Grand National then. Let's see who's going to take this one. James Go-Kart Brown saying he had a great start, but it all went a bit pink-tongued. I think it was all more like a bit tractor tyre, to be honest with you, James. But sometimes when you... It depends if you're on a controller or a steering wheel. I'm not sure what you're on, James, but certainly when you come into that corner, if you're on a controller, you've not quite got it right, it will snap you into the corner.
Attention grid, all non-essential personnel leave the grid now.
So we're going to bring the cars out. That was a complete restart. The transponder not working on the 125 car. Of course, track shop open down on the turn. Not. But all news available, of course, on the Rebels Facebook page. Very well done to the Rebels for organising their drivers for this one. And it's great to see these drivers taking part and making the sport something slightly different while we're under lockdown. Not sure what Tommy K's done to us this time. I think he's pixelated the picture. We may be having a little bit of streaming trouble. While the pixels are straightening themselves up, that's absolutely fantastic. Big well done to the pixels. And Stephen Allgate just going around there in car 51 to line up. Lawrence Collins, Nicole Emmett to lead them away. I think Lawrence Collins struggling to get away there. Ash Palethorpe just giving him a helping hand, but Collins phasing in and out there on the game. Let's hope his car doesn't disappear when the flag drops. We're about ready to go. 14 laps for the Grand National. Nicole Emmett leads them away as we come out of turn 4. Lots of action there. Palethorpe shoots through again in 125. It's Shane Geary in car 78. Right, straight in. And he pommels the side of Palethorpe and takes him out down there on turn 2. What a drilling into the corner. I'm not sure, the screen's gone blank at the moment. I think we may have lost transmission after that hit. It was that big. I'm not sure whether that has caused Tommy to fall off the camera. We'll try and get the picture back up very shortly, of course. I'm not sure. Here we go with the picture back up with us now. And it's Stephen Boyd with the lead then in car 369. And tagging in 238. All change there. Ash Geary up into 3rd. Stephen Allgate in 4th. Now, where's Ash Palethorpe there? Way back down in 11th following that big crash down there on the turn. What a launch that was from Geary. Oh, I'll give him a pat on the back next time I see him. There's Dave Carter on the outside of Palethorpe, and Palethorpe trying to come back through the field now, chasing hard. Can he get within striking distance to return the favour on his best buddy there in car 78? Lester Oughton in 471 up into 8th. But it's Taggy with the lead now in 238. Gary Tagg leads the way. Stephen Boyd in 2nd. In 369. Ash Geary in 3rd in 82. And Boyd drops down. Ash Geary goes up into 2nd, and Taggy still with the lead. Jay Murphy up into 3rd this time around in car 80. There's Geary and Nicole Emmett just between the two. Stephen Allgate there in car 51 just in behind. And there is the 78 of Geary. I think he may have done a bit of steering damage. The way he put Palethorpe away on that turn 2. Chasing hard after the 2nd place of Ash Geary. Taggy quite some distance ahead of him down onto the home straight then. And Taggy quarter a lap up in 238. We're off distance on this Grand National. What a race this one has been so far. Let's get some more action in, boys, towards the closing stages. James Cocart Brown rejoins us. I think he's had a go with that tyre again, to be fair. Shane Murphy gets a bumper in on Ash Geary down there on the turn. That's going to be returning to the pit turn, no doubt. Yes, indeed. There goes Geary up the inside. Shane Murphy rides it out this time, though. That is Shane Geary further back there instead of Josh Spires and Dave Carter. He's out wide. Is he waiting for a second go at Palethorpe? That's a good question. Because Palethorpe is closing in 125. Taggy with the lead then. 6 laps to go from Murphy in car 80. And Ash Geary in 82. The Spires taking a final win, trying to come through the field. They're up into 7th. Great drive so far. Peggy looking for victory though as we come into the closing stages of this Grand National. Rob Jones changing. Tommy's fell off the camera again, but he's back with us. Peggy coming towards the back of the pack. Round goes Stephen Boyd there, tagging, finding a way through. Lawrence Collins all over the place there. Can Taggy find the safe pass? Taggy takes the win then in 2:38 from Shea Murphy. My apologies, it was only 14 laps. I was looking for an 18th lap on there. That's getting used to the final. Let me give you that final result then. Taggy takes the win in 2:38. Shea Murphy was second in car 80. Ash Geary third in 82. Fourth was Stephen 51 Aldgate. In fifth was Shane Geary in car 78. In sixth was Dave Carter in 548. Josh Spires was in 7th in 452. In 8th place was Danny McCarthy in 393. 9th was Alice Droughton in 471. In 10th, 501 of Lawrence Collins. And the new finisher, I think the damage he took on there was Ash Palethorpe in 125. What a big hit there from Shane Geary on that opening lap. What a cracking race that was. Well, that concludes the meeting here, and the guys just doing a few donuts. Big well done to all the drivers there, and a great meeting here at Kings Lynn, the Norfolk Arena. Watch the Facebook page for our next meeting for the Rebels East Series. My name's Andy Ankin. It's been a pleasure. Big thank you to Tommy Kay on the cameras and to Shay on the stewarding. Hope you enjoyed the racing.